Hi folks, you're watching GORO Band official YouTube channel. Welcome. So this is another episode of the GORO Talks World. So Olympic has started July 23rd, and I was actually watching the news online by US medias, and then I felt that they often didn't tell what is truth about this Olympics. So I would like to share some aspects of this Olympics. It's really hard to do the Olympic game in pandemics. So Japanese government really kind of last minute decided not to have any audiences. Whether that decision is good or bad, often media kind of like just overreacted how bad pandemic is in Japan. Right now they have another emergency lockdown. It doesn't really look good, of course. Let me read some news article regarding to Japan's state of emergency. Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga's government decided Thursday, which is July 8th, to place Tokyo under a fresh COVID state of emergency for the duration of the Olympics in an effort to curb a recent surge in infections. The measure to be effective from July 11th to August 22nd will see the Summer Games held without spectators at venues in and out around the capital, dealing another blow to the event that was postponed by 1 year due to the pandemic. First off, let me explain about this state of emergency of Japan. This does not give mandatory close of business. Government cannot enforce anything, and there's not penalty or consequences because of Japanese constitution. But still, Japanese people follow this. They have a strong group conscience. When government asks people to do it, they cooperate strongly. The negative side is they have pressure from surroundings, very passive pressures. That's kind of a Japanese thing. But let's look at the statics. Okay, this is the statics out of the July 22nd. And in Japan, new cases happen 5,366 cases. In the same day, look at the statics in the United States. New cases 67,877 cases. And let's look at the death count. Deaths is only 6 in Japan in the same day. But in the United States, it's 367 deaths. Let's just see population-wise, Japan is kind of half-size population of the America. Considering how, like geometrically, Japan is much smaller than the United States. Just even imagine how population is concentrated in a small land. Then look at this, like this statistics shows that cases are so much fewer than United States. Then this count is so small. After you look at the statistics of Japan and the US, especially for American viewers, please think about how your life is like in the United States right now. Your infected and the death count are much higher than Japan, but do you have a lockdown in the US major cities? Think about all sports events. Do they have the audiences? Now, 161 million people are free vaccinated in the United States, and it's almost 50% of a population. Japan has the 32 million people were free vaccinated, and it's a 24% of the population. What do you think? After considering all of the facts, is state of emergency in Tokyo really necessary? In Olympic Games, no audience stadium was really necessary? Then why lockdown happened in Japan? My point of view is one thing is about how afraid Japanese government was. This is a decision made by the government. Prime Minister Suga is really afraid of being accused when, in case big cluster happens. U.S. media showed picture of the lockdown in Tokyo, then all stores are closed and all the stuff. But actually, I have to tell you that even though they don't have to close the store, even though it is not the mandatory, but they basically asking. Then with using a fear, and people kind of obey, or like they try to do it as much as they can. Group conscience is very strong in Japan. It's hard for them to ignore others and then do what they want. Good way, bad way. Basically, like considering how the numbers, statics, and then scientifically, it is not quite impossible to do the game with the audiences, even though they may have the some like a limitation. They may have the fewer people to have in the stadium, and it was totally fine. And the plus, like their sense of cleanliness is extraordinary. Yeah, it was possible, but in the same time, whether they have audience or not audience, I pay so much respect towards the athletes. They are doing incredibly great jobs, especially like Japanese athletes. They just kind of like show so much they can do, and then it gave so much courage to the other Japanese people. I really admire their efforts. And then remarkably, like also a few British athletes actually showed the how the athlete village is. Then they really kind of admire how they make it. I really kind of like admire like their spirit to showing off on the internet. Hope that you guys have a little better understanding about this Olympics.